Past few days, we've highlighted several members of Yoda's species, most notably Yoda himself and Jedi Master Yaddle, both of which were Jedi Masters that reigned during the Clone Wars era of the Star Wars galaxy. But for the topic of this video, I would like to talk about the first ever Jedi that we know that was actually a member of Yoda's species, a Jedi Master that was around thousands of years before the time of Yoda, Anakin Skywalker, and the Clone Wars, and is in fact the first known member of Yoda's species to ever appear in Star Wars. I want to make it clear that this video is very much Legends continuity, and we will very rarely be pulling from canon, if at all, within the content of this video. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video, and today we will be talking about Jedi Master Vandar Tok'er. Not much is known about Tok'er's life as a Jedi Padawan or even a Jedi Knight, but we actually know quite a bit about his time as a Jedi Master. Something really unique about Vandar is he actually managed to complete his training on the Jedi's homeworld of Ossus, the same planet where the first Jedi organized themselves over the forces of the dark side. After Vandar became a Jedi Master, he first focused his efforts on the criminal underworlds of more of the inner rim planets as a Jedi, and after decades of working, he was actually able to reduce crime in all of the inner worlds a substantial amount. Again though, this was an ordeal that took decades. Vandar was known as an exceptionally sharp Jedi Master who would not take kindly to those that disagreed with him. However, his knowledge and wisdom on the Force was unparalleled, but also he was denoted as an extremely deadly lightsaber duelist, wielding in lightsaber combat not one, but two lightsabers at any given time. We know that Master Vandar, similar to Yoda, was a master of Ataru. However, he implemented Jarkai dual blade fencing into his lightsaber form, meaning that, although this may be hard to believe, Vandar was actually more of an aggressive duelist than Yoda. He used these great skills in part to intimidate a lot of the crime in these core inner worlds, as the truth is, Vandar was simply far more powerful than any of the gangsters that he came into conflict with. And again, he liberated several worlds nearly single-handedly, although some Jedi did arrive at times to help. It was during this period of time, after Master Vandar had served as a warrior, that he began to take upon the role of a teacher among other Jedi. Vandar was given a unique honor, with the Jedi High Council allowing him to have his own Jedi enclave on the planet of Dantooine, being known as the Grand Master of the Second Jedi Academy. Again though, I want to make it clear that the High Council on Coruscant also had its own very Grand Master, and Vandar had a seat on this council. It would be on the planet of Dantooine that Vandar would train young Jedi in the ways of the Force for several more decades, being at least several centuries old at this point in time, the time when the Mandalorian Wars would first break out in the wider galaxy. Not much is known about Master Vandar during the Mandalorian Wars, and it's unknown if he ever actually directly participated in any conflict. For those of you that need a refresher, it was initially the wish of the Jedi High Council not to involve themselves in the Mandalorian Wars, after the Mandalorians invaded the Republic, but with the help of the Jedi Knight Revan, he took a group of Jedi Knights to fight off the Mandalorians, eventually defeating the Mandalorians, but in the process discovering a deeper plot against the Jedi, a plot orchestrated by their ancient enemy, the long-believed destroyed Sith. It would then result in Darth Revan and his friend Alec, of course, becoming Dark Lords of the Sith themselves, being brainwashed by the Sith Emperor Vitiate. For several more years, Revan and Malak would reign terror against the Republic, until Revan would be betrayed by Malak when Malak fired upon his master's ship. Fortunately for Revan, there were actually Jedi aboard that ship that managed to save the Dark Lord of the Sith, bringing him back to the Jedi High Council. For a lot of the Jedi High Council, it was their initial intention to execute Darth Revan on the spot, deeming him too dangerous to be left alive. However, Vandar was one of the few Jedi that spoke up in Revan's defense, saying that if they could wipe his memory, he could prove instrumental in eventually defeating Darth Malak and the other Dark Lords of the Sith that Vandar expected were still out there. And it was because of Jedi Master Vandar's influence on the Council that Darth Revan was allowed to again train as a Jedi. However, they did wipe his memory completely first. Vandar actually became the new Jedi Master of Revan, training him again after his memory had been wiped, and showing him the path and power of the light side of the Force, ultimately proving to be successful and a superior master to other Jedi that Revan had encountered in the past. After Revan successfully defeated his former apprentice Darth Malak in combat and killed him, Master Vandar deemed Revan completely redeemed, re-granting him his rank as Jedi Knight, and also deeming him the prodigal knight. Unfortunately though, this would prove to be what one of Jedi Master Vandar's final last deeds, as his death would soon come in the years to follow. After Revan escaped into the unknown regions of space with the determination to hunt down the Sith Emperor Vitiate and kill him, he utterly disappeared. His true fate would not actually be known until decades later. During this time though, a new Sith threat arose from a different point than the Sith Emperor Vitiate, in the form of Revan's former Jedi Master, his original Jedi Master Kreia, now calling herself Darth Traya. With Darth Traya, she actually organized two other mighty powerful Sith Lords that had served during the Mandalorian Wars, a Sith Lord so ingrained in pain that he could not die named Darth Sion, and a Sith Lord who had been transformed by a super weapon that had been set off during the Mandalorian Wars, a weapon known as the Mass Shadow Generator, and a weapon that had utterly changed this man into something far less than human, and maybe not even a Sith Lord anymore. This Dark Lord of the Sith was named Darth Nihilus. Unluckily for the Jedi Order, it had actually sustained 3 massive galaxy-spanning wars in about the time period of 50 years, starting with the Great Sith War, followed by the Mandalorian Wars, and then the Great Jedi Civil War conflict. As a result of this, the once proud and prominent Jedi Order had dwindled substantially in number due to these many conflicts, with Jedi Master Vandar though being one of the few that had seen the conflicts since the beginning. Again, unfortunately for the Jedi Order though, Traya, with the help of her 2 apprentices Sion and Nihilus, brought a lot of the Dark Jedi that remained in the galaxy out of hiding. Dark Jedi that prior had served the Dark Lord Revan, and even some Sith Lords that survived the Great Sith War, all of them united under the power of these 3 Sith Lords. With the Sith united, the Jedi Council quickly discovered that small gatherings and groups of Jedi were being wiped out slowly but surely, with several Jedi Watchmen in the Outer Rim never being heard of, and none of their Padawans or Knights ever being heard from again either. This strange phenomena in the Force actually seemed to move around, as more and more groups of Jedi seemingly just disappeared out of thin air with nothing but a disturbance in the Force being left behind. The signs of Jedi grew less and less in the galaxy, and the Jedi High Council determined that they were being hunted. Thus would begin the first Jedi Purge. As a result of this, all of the great and powerful Jedi left in the galaxy reconvened on the planet of Dantooine. They did so in order to take count of what remained of the Jedi, as well as formulate a plan on what to do with the Sith, and a seemingly unstoppable force that was wiping them out group by group. Master Vandar was in fact one of the first Jedi that believed that it was the Sith that had returned and were slowly but surely wiping out the Jedi. However, as I stated earlier, great tragedy would befall Master Vandar, as it was revealed that the Jedi Atris had actually leaked information where the Jedi were going to be, in an effort to draw out this enemy, believing that this great force of Jedi would be able to stop them. Unfortunately, she was wrong. Out of hyperspace emerged the Sith Lord Darth Nihilus, who, with the power of the dark side of the Force and Force Drain, drained the entire planet of all of its Force energy, including all of the Jedi present on the planet, again, including Master Vandar, as it was on the planet of Tatooine where the first known member of Yoda's species met his final end. But not all hope was lost. The Sith would later be defeated, and Master Vandar's knowledge and wisdom would be passed down in the form of a holocron considered most precious among the Jedi Order. As far as more information that we know about Vandar, it is believed that he was actually raised as an extremely young child by the Jedi Order, because unlike characters like Yoda and Yaddle, he speaks very common basic, meaning that he does not mix up his words when he speaks, indicating that he never really spent much time on his core world. Another interesting trait about Vandar is he actually has a surname as well, making him the only member of Yoda's species to have a surname. Again, perhaps something that had to do with the fact that he was raised by the Jedi and not members of his own species. As far as Vandar's skill, we already touched upon his skills in lightsaber combat, although I also want to say that by the time at the end of his life and death at the hand of Darth Nihilus, he had grown extremely weak. In years earlier, though, he was exponentially more powerful in the Force than many other Jedi, including being a master and an expert on many obscure Force abilities, including Force abilities like Sever Force, which allowed him to cut off the Force from beings powerful with it and able to tap into it, as well as the ability of Force suppression. In addition to this, instead of using a cane in his old age, Master Vandar actually used the Force to levitate. But even more than this, in lightsaber combat, he chose sometimes to wield his dual lightsabers telekinetically, an extremely dangerous and rare practice among the Jedi. Master Vandar is actually one of my favorite EU characters, a character that has a long and layered history among the Jedi, and again a unique specimen as he's the first ever member of Yoda's species to appear in Star Wars. But that was the full story of Jedi Master Vandar, and what are your thoughts on this character, and had you heard of this character before this video? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the videos, it means the world to me. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.